morning. I'm sorry about this lighting right now. I am literally like driving into the blinding sun, which honestly I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying it's giving me some interesting shadows. So I hope you're able to work with it and work with me on that this morning. So of course I'm driving and I've got some stuff I want to talk about. No more sadness though, by the way. I don't know, I guess, you know, kind of grief and death and kind of life realities are a little bit pressing on my mind lately, and I have so enjoyed my conversations with you guys. All of your comments are phenomenal. I so appreciate you sharing your perspective with me on those sorts of topics, but we're not crying for a little while, okay? No more crying right now. I like making people laugh. I also like making people think, and I enjoy thinking along with someone, but no more crying. We're going back to the sunshine and light. Sunshine, no pun intended. We're going back to the sunshine and light that I have been enjoying sharing with you guys. Anyway, by the way, let me just say also too, I have normally prided myself on my ability to manage my time and keep up with you guys, meaning, you know, when you guys, of course I read every single comment that you guys give me, and in fact I've got an app set up that every time one of your comments comes in on any one of my videos, I get a notification. So it's almost like you're even like texting me during the day, which is so cool. And I love as they come in, and I read every single one. I have been, since I got back from vacation, awful in replying and responding and commenting, and it's not like me, and it makes me very upset. It gives me like, I almost feel like I don't know, I almost feel like I'm not doing, not my job, but I'm not owning up to my responsibility. I feel like you spend your time with me on my channel, you make the time or you take the time to make a comment, and I feel like it's rude that I haven't replied to all of your recent comments. I have absolutely loved them. Please know that I am reading all of them, and I really am going to try to go back and catch up on all of them. But since vacation, since I came back, time has been missing from my life. I don't even know where it went. Like, I just kind of went back to my normal routine. But I don't know. I haven't had time. And so what I'm trying to say is I apologize, and I appreciate the latitude that you give me. Even if you're not giving me latitude, I'm saying that I appreciate it if you were to give it to me. So anyway, something that I wanted to, you know, and when I come up with these topics of conversation, it really just is what's going on in my life at the time. And my husband put my seat heat on this morning. It's like 100 degrees in the car, and I'm driving into the blinding sun. I had to look down to turn off the seat heat. And so sometimes I plan my topics in advance because I don't just want to ramble about nothing, but oftentimes what I'm planning in advance are kind of things that are going on in my life and things that I want to talk to you about. And so that's kind of where today's conversation is coming from. And so I'm having this kind of inner conflict and this like almost like a midlife crisis, even though clearly, well, I'd like to believe I have not reached the middle of my life, but that's kind of where my discussion starts. I was always a straight A student, and I was always very kind of diligent with my responsibilities. And so that being said, I needed to apparently have my midlife crisis before it was actually due, just so that I could make sure, you know, I got it in on time and I got it done early, because that was always the way that I would do all of my schoolwork and stuff. I mention that because I've spent time, I'm not even sure how to kind of get it started so that it actually makes sense to you. I worked very hard in school. I knew the value, or at least I thought I knew the value of getting good grades and paying attention in school. And I look at my job right now, and my conflict is that the work that I do right now, I absolutely love it. I really enjoy my schedule. I enjoy the people that I work with. I enjoy the premise of my position. And my conflict is that I don't make a lot of money. Is what I'm talking about, money. The good work that I do, I feel like is not reflected in my paycheck. Now, clearly, I am not the first person ever on the planet to feel like they are underpaid. But let me just say, I'm really not making a lot of money. Not even a lot. It's down there, for lack of a better description. Now, that being said, part of my conflict is that I feel like all that hard work that I did in school, and I did well on my SATs, and I got other education degrees. Not that that means you couldn't have a good job without education, and that's part of my problem. Is I'm like, why did I do all of that schoolwork and stuff to kind of find myself in the position that I'm in right now? And so that being one dimension of it, where I'm truly wondering what is the value of education to the extreme, let's say. You know, if I had children of my own, I think I would say to them, hey, if you get a B, go for it. Or, you know, like B or B plus, and if that's the best that they can do, then that's fabulous. But there seems to be this underlying drive that you really need to get grades that are literally as high as possible, at the expense of maybe even becoming a well-rounded person, and kind of also at the expense of what that kind of gives you as an expectation for your life. And I think that's part of my initial problem, is that I don't know why my paycheck is attached to my ego, but I feel like it is. I feel like, shouldn't I financially be in a better position right now? And so the alternative, my last job, I distinctly made more money, and my title was even better. And I don't even need to be specific about what that is, but even my title was even better. And when I explain to people what I do right now, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I do. You know, I take pride in what I do, but only to myself. And it's difficult for me to kind of express it to others. I'm looking at many of my friends, and you know, financially they're killing it. You know, like they're just doing really well. And so it opens the debate for, do you do a job, you know, for the money, or do you do a job because you enjoy it? Now, obviously, clearly, I believe it's important to do a job that you feel, you know, makes you feel good. And I remember when I was in college, they kept stressing, you know, money is not the only important thing. You have to choose a career that makes you happy. And I did that. And it just so happens that the career I chose doesn't pay very well. And many times, you know, you hear stories about six-figure salary people who aren't enjoying or getting value out of what they're doing, and so then they quit and they like go buy a farm or something. Which, P.S., you got to remember, the reason they were able to go out and buy a farm is because they were making a lot of money. And so the question is, when does it come down to money? You know, and so how important is money? And I've got kind of money running through the back of my mind, even though I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And at the same time, to say, oh, well, the money isn't important. Well, yeah, you got to pay your bills. And guess what? I like highlighters that cost $40 and foundations that cost $56. And I enjoy going on vacations. Those things cost money. I'm not a big restaurant person. I don't tend to buy a lot of clothes. I don't waste money. So I'm not even saying like I need 400 pairs of shoes. But you know what? The really good, comfortable shoes oftentimes cost more than the less expensive shoes. And so money really does become important. And so I'm kind of feeling like, because I chose a position, I enjoy doing it. But then internally, I kind of feel less than, or I feel less successful because it's not reflected in a paycheck. And I'm not sure what I think about that. And that's kind of my problem. I keep having to say to myself, but the money doesn't matter. But yeah, the money kind of does. And somewhere between here and there, as an individual person, I know I'm not the only person that thinks this way, where we get our value and our self-worth from other external places, like a paycheck, or like what other people's impressions are of what I do. Like I explain to people, yeah, this is what I do. I only do this, but I love my job. And I like throw that out as a disclaimer. I don't really make that much, but I love what I do. Like I've got to like justify it rather than just say, yeah, hey, this is what I do. It was so funny because I was at a Memorial Day party or Memorial weekend party, and for the first time somebody asked me, since I've kind of been back in New York, they asked me what do I do? And internally I cringed because I knew that in explaining my position, it wasn't like a position of status or, but I love what I do. Oh, see, look at that. I can't even do it with you guys and having this kind of conversation. And so, I don't know. We say you're not supposed to, money isn't everything. But money buys the things that you need. I have to be honest with you, money also buys my health insurance and buys my medical supplies. I've mentioned I'm a type 1 diabetic. That shit costs money. And yes, you can still have very good health insurance granted to you by your job, which I do not. But yet, you've got to, that's something that is on my plate to pay for. And for many of you, I always call my medical diagnosis as like my child. That's like the college tuition for my child. I don't actually have children. Many of you have children, and that's where a large portion of your paycheck goes. Well, a large portion of my paycheck goes to buying my medical supplies and, making sure I've got really, really, really good health insurance and health coverage. And so, how much should the money matter? And I feel like a jerk when I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing really good stuff, but I feel like I don't make enough. And I feel like then the money becomes important. And I'm really struggling with, and I think to myself, okay, well, I'm going to look for another job that pays me better. But then would I be happy? Probably not. But I'd be having the paycheck. I guess my whole thought is just, why can't I have both? Why can't I do a good deed and get paid well for that? Well, a lot of times the people who are making money, they're the and I'm not judging. I'm not judging in any way. You know that I don't do that. But just statistically speaking, many times they're investors or bankers or, something in the money department. If you work in money, you seem to make a lot of it. I like to work in people, and I don't seem to make a lot of it when it comes to people. Are those people who are in the money business and the money industry, are they happy? I imagine. And if they're not happy, then I feel sorry for you, because I feel like we owe it to ourselves to be happy. But I don't know. I've just been I expected to be in a different position based on the way I was training to be an adult in my studies and in school. And I'm comparing myself to others and how well they appear to be doing. I have a very nice life. There are many people, and see, now I feel guilty. There are many people who have a worse life than I do, or not even worse. That's a bad word. Like a more challenging life than I do, where you're literally struggling to pay the bills. And I can't even imagine what that feels like, because very gratefully I do not. And see, now I feel guilty. I'm like, oh my gosh, how can I possibly be complaining that I'm not making more? And how can I doubt myself, like I said, and because I think it comes down to appearance. We rely on our appearance. But I mean, clearly, because I'm running a beauty YouTube channel. Did I just hit like a really high octave right there? I think so. I'm getting so hyper excited about this because I feel like there really is no good answer. And I've just been, as I adjust to my new life, what is today? In like 3 or 4 days, it will be exactly 1 year since I arrived in New York, in which my job changed and my, my position changed. And I've been trying to kind of adapt to that, which is ironic because initially at the very beginning, I was freaking out because I couldn't find a job. And so now I happen to have a job. Many people don't even have a job. Oh my gosh, I sound like a spoiled brat. But many people don't even have a job. And so I'm so grateful to have a job. And yet I love what I do. And yet I'm struggling with my appearance. And oh, that's what I was saying when I hit that high octave was, we want to say to ourselves, appearances don't matter. And my YouTube motto is, there's more to life than looking good. I mean, clearly, but you gotta look good too. And that began with my physical appearance. I enjoy makeup and hair and skincare and clothing and fashion and just kind of all of that put together because I appreciate the perspective, the image that I put out there. And so now this other dimension of my image and my job and what I actually kind of do with my life has been causing me a little bit of mental agita and mental stress. And I don't know. I don't even know if there is an answer. Do you guys like what you do? Do you make a lot of money and you recognize that it isn't making you happy necessarily? Has anybody changed a job because you realized you weren't getting satisfaction from what you were doing? Those are the things I try to remind myself when I have those flickering moments of doubt. Am I the only one who thinks that? I don't know, do I sound shallow? Because that is distinctly the opposite of who I want to be. Like I said, my education and my degree is it's in social work, and that's strictly a profession where you want to engage with other people in the efforts of making their lives either better or easier. And then I come up with this shallow conversation about my paycheck, and it's just weird, and it's just an interesting, maybe like I said, maybe because I'm getting older, and when I was younger it didn't matter because I would say to myself, well, I'm just starting out. And now I'm not just starting out, I've been doing this for a little while, and I'm kind of internally debating all of these sorts of things. And so I don't know, I'm curious what you guys think about it. And I hope you still think I'm a good person. And then there I go, and I'm wondering, and I worry about what other people think. And we always say that isn't important, but it is, because you don't want other people thinking you're an asshole for kind of somewhat shallow reasons. I don't know. Thank you so much for entertaining. I wasn't even sure I was going to talk about this because it was kind of so big. There were so many different dimensions to it, like, how much we value ourselves based on other opinions, and the whole idea of money and feeling like you're not making enough, and yet there are other people who are struggling more than me by comparison, yet I'm so busy looking it up. You can see how complicated this issue is. And so I don't know. Thanks again, as always, for allowing me to, I don't know, indulge myself maybe, or share with you guys kind of just what's going on. I kind of feel like, at least I think I know, I can't be the only person who has asked themselves questions like that. And I don't know, I feel very grown up. I feel very philosophical today. And so Anyway, please leave me some comments down below, as you have been continuing to always do, because after I throw these kinds of ideas out there, I love to know what you think as well. Because remember, I chose a career in people. I love knowing how other people think and what they think and how they kind of react to life. And so let me know. Let me know down below. Hey guys, how you doing? And it is the end of my weekend. I've had a very somewhat relaxing Sunday. I spent some time working, and then my husband has come down with the flu. And so when he was kind of hanging out in the bed, then kind of so was I. So it was really good. We just started watching The Good Wife, which I didn't even realize started like all the way back in 2009. But we are totally into it. And I think it's like 7 seasons at least. And we are anticipating some significant and severe marathon binge watching of this show. Oh my God, it's so good. Juliana Margulies, who plays the lead character, she's a little bit subtle. Like, I want her to have more emotion. I guess that's part of like her charm or whatever, but I don't know, the show is just really, really compelling, and I guess it's got really high reviews. So anyway, it's the end of my Sunday, and I realized I wanted to close my vlog, and I just wanted to show you a new bag that I picked up. When I was on vacation with my family on the cruise, you guys met my sister-in-law, Antoinette. She had a backpack, and it was the most convenient thing ever. And so she totally inspired me to be on the lookout for a backpack, and I didn't want it to be anything like fancy, because it really primarily would be for travel and I don't know, maybe the beach even. So let me show you what I got. I'm totally in love with it. So I got by Kipling. Kipling is the brand that has all of the little gorillas, and if you saw my Instagram post recently where I have like 1 million like Beanie Baby little baby gorillas, like I love gorillas. And so yeah, my new bag has a stuffed animal on it. Anyway, so this is by Kipling. I think this is what they consider almost to be like a school backpack, but I love it. I love the color. They call it like, it's like a muted, like kind of sparkly gold. And so it's got the 2 you know, straps on the back, which is great. It's got a pocket up in here, so you could totally like throw things in it. It's got a little flap over, which covers an external pocket, and then inside it's also got the big zipper pocket, which also then has a place for your cell phone and some interior pockets as well. It's got this exterior pocket, which is really cool, so you can have easy access, and it's got a button snap closure pocket as well as another button snap closure pocket. Did I mention it comes with a gorilla? I mean, really, we need to be excited because it comes with a gorilla. And so it's got a pretty wide bottom as well. I got it at Macy's. It was totally on sale. I think it was about like $120 or so, and it was 25% off. And so it came in black, and I decided not to go with the black. I decided to go with this kind of gold because I thought it gave it some charm and some flash and some flair. So anyway, just a little something that I picked up that I wanted to share with you. I think it'll come in total handy this summer. And so since I was so rambly in the car the other day, ironically talking about my paycheck, and then I go shopping. Don't you do that? Doesn't shopping just make you feel so much better? Anyway, thanks again for spending your time with me and chatting with me. Definitely leave me a comment down below about anything that I've talked about or anything that's going on in your life, because that would be cool. I appreciate your support. I hope you have a really good rest of the day, and I will see you next week. Thanks.